Hey, morning, and welcome to the post-hospital edition of Seven Figure Business Secrets. Yeah, that's me just been really dramatic. Actually, it's post-hospital. It's just a blood test. Just had to go in for bloods this morning. Yeah, to make sure my kidney stones don't come back. You don't want to have kidney stones. If you ever had kidney stones before, yeah, they're pretty sore, right? But I had an ongoing episode for 4 or 5 years where I was a super kidney stone producer. How cool is that? Yeah, if you could sell them, that would have been great. But not so great for the pain side. But yeah, thankfully put on a new treatment about 3 or 4 months ago. Doctor sort of figured stuff out, what was going on with me. Yeah, a whole pile of genetic things. And yeah, so since then, kidney stone free, which is all great. But that's not really what I wanted to talk to you about. As usual, I always start off with stuff I don't want to talk to you about. But anyway, this is what I do want to talk to you about. Pretty important thing. And it's something that's been going around my brain for a few different reasons, but it's all around the idea is, are you making the world more positive or are you making the world more negative? And originally this was, I used to think about this in terms of how I dealt with people. So, you know me, I'm normally pretty smiling, pretty happy, and except for early in the morning, not so great. It's a bit like, but generally, yeah, pretty happy. But that was a decision I made many years ago, is that I'd much rather leave people better for having spoken to me rather than worse for having spoken to me. And it was all around, yeah, just my little tiny impact in the world, where maybe there's 3 or 4 people each day who had a smile on their face or something nice happened to them, and I was part of that experience for them, and that was me just trying to be positive. And then of course got into the ecological side and the environment, and it's like, okay, if I don't have to use energy, or if I can walk the 3-minute walk rather than drive, I'll do that as well. And that was me just making a tiny little impact on our energy bill and pollutions and recycling waste and all of that, those type of things. And again, just my tiny little way of improving the world. And what I realized when I started speaking to people about this, and just so people shared their little things, you realize actually it seems to be an inbuilt human thing that we do, is that we do generally want to do things that move the world forward. And what's interesting is when we do something that moves the world forward, even if it is just making someone a little bit happy, we feel good. And it's almost as if our internal drug systems, we get that little dopamine hit when we do those type of things, and our internal drug systems are encouraging us to do exactly that, which is push things forward, move the world forward. And the other side of that is when we do things that are not so great, when we do mean things, or just me myself, when I realized that actually I could have responded way better to a situation where I should have responded with kindness, but I didn't, and they sort of just great with me for hours and hours afterwards, and sometimes days, weeks, years even. But that's our own body is telling us, hang on a second, you left the world in a slightly worse place. And the reason I want to share that with you today is that the same thing goes on with our jobs. The same thing goes on with what it is that we're choosing to do for the 7.5, 8, 9 hours a day that we spend working. Is that the job we do is either pushing the world forward or actually pushing the world backwards. And some jobs are really obvious. If you're I apologize if I'm going to use an example that you're going to be offended with, and it's not about personally offending you, but it's about giving examples of jobs that, in my opinion, don't push the world forward. So if you're actually making cigarettes, for example, or pushing them, they're killing people. Yeah, that's not really pushing the world forward, even though people are out there and they'd love to have them. In the bigger scheme of things, it's not a great thing to be doing. If you're pushing high sugar content, fizzy drinks, that's contributing to type 2 diabetes. That's not a brilliant thing to be doing. Yeah, and we know that. We know deep down just that sometimes we're doing things. I used to be I used to be manufacturing diesel engines that were, polluting the world, and no matter how good I got in my job, it just meant that I was able to produce more diesel engines quicker, cheaper. It's not brilliant in the big scheme of things, and I was doing it for a paycheck. That's because that's what we do it for a paycheck. And the realization that I had was actually I get to choose where my paycheck comes from. I don't get to choose my paycheck like tomorrow, but I knew that the job I was doing, which is essentially helping pollute the world, was not exactly in line with pushing the world forward. And so I took decisions back then to reskill myself and learn skills that would allow me to do jobs that actually push the world forward in a better way. So yeah, not a quick process, but you got to start thinking about it. If you're in a role where you're feeling that what you do is not exactly brilliant, it's probably because you know deep down that you're not pushing the world forward, and in worst case, you might even be pulling the world back. And yeah, you sort of go, maybe I'm just sitting in the middle. Well, that's the horrible space too. Sitting in the middle where you're neither pushing the world forward or pulling the world back is quite a dead space to be. It's like sitting in front of the television day in, day out and not using your brain and not actually doing anything with it. After a while, your body and your mind starts getting a bit annoyed with you, because essentially you're wasting yourself, and you start realizing life's passing by, and then you start getting annoyed, and it's not a great place to be. And a lot of people are just frustrated because they recognize that they are sitting in a job or in a world where actually they're not doing anything of significance. And us as humans, we definitely want to be significant. We definitely want to be able to leave things for our kids, or realize that you get to the end of a hard day at work and you're tired, but you can look back and go, that was cool. I actually did something useful. Someone benefited, or the world benefited from me being alive today. And that's what I want you to take away today is, just, are you actually pushing the world forward? Are you a world plus person, or are you a world minus person? And if what you're doing day in, day out is world minus or world neutral, you have a huge opportunity, right? You could actually go and change what you spend your hours with, and do something useful, do something that is just going to impact, and you're going to feel so much better for it. I don't know what that is for you. You probably already know. You probably have a hint in your brain that you've got an idea. For me, I think setting up your own business and developing whatever ideas you have into something that you control and run is the best step you could ever take to actually being world positive, because you get to move resources and get people focused on doing brilliant things. So think about what you're actually doing. What is it that you want to be doing? Maybe not tomorrow, but 6 months time, 12 months time, and what are the steps that you need to start taking right now? Like, you'd stop this video and you'd do something right now, even if it's small, to start progressing yourself to having a world positive approach to life and a world positive job. Right, hope that helps. I shall speak to you shortly. Bye.